Rahma, I want you to be the one to start the podcast today.
Oh, so why are you saying this like it's a privilege?
Ati?
Why are you saying this like it's a privilege?
Wait, don't make this into something that it's not. I'm just being nice.
Anyway, hi everyone. Welcome to the That's So Haram podcast with me, your lovely co-host Rahma Ramadan.
And I'm the one with the fetish, Kevin Gakere.
Wow, really? Really, Kevin? All right, guys. So this is episode 12. And before you listen, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating, if you're feeling us, because I know you're feeling us, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, when you're listening to the podcast, just do something small for us, right? Take a screenshot, post it on your story, tag the That's So Haram podcast on Instagram, and myself and Kevin if you're feeling like it. And then we'd love to interact with you from there. So enjoy.
You are gonna miss me when I'm gone.
Since guys are tired of hearing your voice.
Sure.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 12 of the That's So Haram podcast. I'm your host, Rahma Ramadan.
And I am the co-host, Kevin Gakere.
Yep.
No,
So
that is actually misleading. No, you are not the host. You are the co-host. We are both co-hosts.
I am
Please.
starting the podcast today, so I will do it however way I see fit.
Hey,
And
Paul
if
and
you
Madame, Paul and Madame.
have a problem, wait until episode 13 and you'll be introducing it the way you want it. All right? Cool. Great. So, Kevin.
You you didn't even say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, really.
No,
Anyway,
no, no,
anyway, yeah,
because
yeah.
I, to me, our audience are more than boys and girls. I don't know why you call them boys and girls. These are our people, our fans, our
Yeah.
fam, Kwanzaa, our fam.
I am more proud of this. I forgot to start recording the visuals on Zoom. The
Shame
first
on
time that
you.
this has ever happened. The first time this
Our
has ever.
esteemed listeners, my apologies for the mishap that my co-host has caused, but we'll be moving along swiftly.
You continue to talking trash, and I have a lot of content of you. A lot. So please tread tread carefully. Tread carefully.
Fine. I mean, these threats of yours for 2 shillings, please calm down, calm down.
Anyway,
And I
Rahma.
just did a direct translation from Kiswahili.
Yeah, that is how you know that your Swahili blood is still strong. It is still boiling.
Yeah, by the way, when
Yeah.
you speak, do you think in English or do you think in Kikuyu and then you translate in your head and then it comes out in English?
Here is the funniest thing. I mean, I always think in English, yeah, but
Hmm.
because you've mentioned Kikuyu, I understand Kikuyu very well, very 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 well, yeah. But speaking Kikuyu is a problem. Here's why: because you know how you can't do direct translation from English to Kiswahili, yeah.
Yeah.
There are certain ways that words are said that like a
Hmm.
sentence is formed. For me, I'll think in Kikuyu in English and then say like transition word from word for word. Like if say guys, sorry if you are listening to this and you are not Kikuyu, I'm going to get a bit tribal today. Okay, for like 2 seconds. My
It's
my
not even
my hands
tribal,
all
you're
over the
just
place.
explaining.
Like say if I want to say I want to go there, I'll think I nie want dereda. I want to go there to go kuye how maybe that's correct, but I'll think about it in like from word to word, which is always not what it's supposed to be. So every time I try to
Hmm.
speak Kikuyu to people, they just laugh at me. So
Okay, so yours is a classic case of Jaden's going to Shags and then they just sound terrible trying to speak. Barbies. What is it called? Trying to speak
Eh?
English, English Kikuyu. You're
with
such a
a
Barbie. Oh my God.
with an accent.
With
Niederreda.
an accent. Yes, with
Niederreda.
an accent.
Nah,
Mm.
nah, 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 nah. Nah. Let me tell you, my Q actually is hard because for those of you who don't know, I am a basic Kikuyu man. I bargain a lot. And funny enough, in the industry that I'm in, that requires a lot of procurement, most of the guys who sell what I procure are Kikuyus. Most of them. I mean, it's they are mostly Kikuyus and Mwindis. So the guys who speak
And
Kikuyu,
Indians, you mean?
yeah, yeah. Sorry, I forgot that we are an international podcast. You know, yeah, yeah. So most of the people who I procure things from are either Hindi or Kikuyu. So funny
Are
enough,
either Indian. Hindi is a language.
wow, I am on a roll today, aren't I? God damn. God fucking damn. Yo, so they're either Indians or Kikuyus. And here's the thing, I don't know what it is about this country, but if you speak the same language, you understand each other better. Like for me, if I speak to someone in Kikuyu, the price will go down automatically. And I don't know if
Mm.
you know this, right, but like even if guys think about this, anytime you go and buy, like say I don't know if you guys go to Toy Market or if you guys go to Woo or if you guys go to Zara or Woolworth. But for us who go to Toy Market and like Gikomba, if I meet a merchant that's clearly Kikuyu and I speak to him in Kikuyu, the price goes down. The price goes down automatically. You
I
know.
think because you find a common ground and you're relatable, both of you are relatable to each other. So you
Yeah.
just feel some kind of connection
Yeah.
there just because you are from the same tribe.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
of the same tribe, rather. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think maybe some people would see it as tribalistic. I don't know, Rahma, if I ever mentioned the story of my cousin going to Masai Market and asking them if they take visa.
I
Did
think
I
you
ever tell you
ever
that story?
mentioned it on the podcast, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the moment he heard her speaking, the price like tripled. You know.
Hmm.
So
I do think that happens even for me when I go out and maybe I see the trader is Kikuyu. I
yeah.
try and throw in like a word or two of Kikuyu, like,
What words? You,
just
you don't know any words. What words?
Neke, Imani, those ones for ah, just those two. Actually, just those two. Just those two. So the guy is like, hey, well, because I've been asked so many times if I'm a
uh,
Kikuyu.
absolutely. I no.
Imagine I have been.
You know, Rahma. You have said it. You have said a lot of things. You have been confused as
Imagine,
Somali, but
yeah.
Kikuyu, absolutely not. Absolutely
Imagine like
not.
so many people ask me, hey, kwani we ni Msapere? So many people.
For those of you who are listening
Kwa-
and don't understand, what she said in Kikuyu was Neke was what? Neke is what? And you said Neke and I man is I man.
Mhm.
Like just from those two words, people are like, oh my god, you must be Kikuyu.
Imagine. And then they continue speaking to me in Kikuyu, and me, I'm just like, because of course I know they're trying to get me to buy the thing at the price I want. So I'm like, Asha. So they just continue, and I just give them the money that I want to give them, and I take the things that I go. So I think they think I'm understanding this thing, but I'm just trying to make sense of what they're saying, and basically. I know
I
they want me to buy the thing at a higher price, and I'm not giving them that price. So I just give them whatever amount that I want to and leave.
I still refuse to believe that anybody thinks that Kikuyu. Rahma, you look as Costarian as you come.
Let me
You
tell you,
like if Costarian girls were a template, it would be you. You
okay,
would be the
now
template.
that is tribalism right there.
That
But
is
no, actually,
that is
it's
not tribalism.
listen. I think it's because I bargain a lot, a lot. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
And then you only say that I seem Costarian because I talk Costarian Swahili, right? Costarian is not even a thing anyway. But quote unquote, I talk Coster and Swahili. But if I'm not with someone who speaks the same type of Swahili as me, I
Yeah.
wouldn't speak like that. So if, for example, I'm with you and you speak Sheng, I'll speak Sheng with you, to you. I mean,
Oh, believe me.
if I'm
Oh, believe me.
outside,
I remember. I remember.
if I'm
I remember
outside,
trying to beg you to speak to me
yeah,
in Kiswahili, and you just refuse all the time. All the
yeah.
time. Oh,
So
yeah.
just the same way, if I'm outside and I'm at a shop and people are speaking Kiswahili for Nairobi, I'll speak it. So
Yeah.
I think people just look at me and then they're like, you don't even speak like you look like, quote
Yeah.
unquote, if people are supposed to speak like they look like.
Yeah.
And then they just assume that I am Kikuyu, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You have really tried to explain yourself there, but you know what, Rahma, it is fine. It is fine.
I'm
Let
just
us
telling you what people tell me.
No, let us just go with that. Let us just go with that. Speaking of which, you have mentioned something, and I've just remembered. It's weird that whenever I don't want something, that's when I get the best rates.
Mm,
Like literally, there is a time I was coming from paying for the gym. Yeah, this
yeah,
is this is back when I was still living at home. Yeah, so I've gone. I have paid for the gym. I come out of the gym. I find this guy selling sport shoes. That time, I had my old beat up sport shoes. I didn't have the money to.
yeah.
I really wasn't interested in buying shoes. So the guy's like, "Oh, hizi viatu ni fiti." Sorry, hold up. I'm trying to. Hold up. 1 minute, guys. Sorry, I will definitely cut that out. No, I won't. So this guy passes with like some nice looking shoes. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, they look nice, but literally, I had 400 bob in my pocket. That's really all I had. So the guy comes to me like, hey, boss, translation, I'm selling these shoes, wagwan. So I'm like, hey, bro, they look nice, but Nikona. In fact, I didn't even tell him the price. He just mentioned to me, this one's up 1,500. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, Sasa bro. Thanks. Oh, this the famous question.
Uko na ngapi?
Uko na ngapi? Loosely translating to how much do you have for guys who don't understand who are listening outside of the 254, who by the of which are 32% of our listeners. What do you
That's
mean?
major. That
That
is
is
major. We're
major. That is
international.
to Mevuka border. So he asked me, uko na ngapi? I'm like, niko na sonne. He's like, brother, pana. So I'm like, boss, I have 400 shillings. Do you know Rakma? After a little bit of back and forth, he sold them to me at
At
400 shillings.
400 shillings.
At 400 shillings,
This,
yeah.
let me tell you, if you're buying something, if someone tells you the price, please even half it. Actually, tell them you have a quarter of the price that they tell you.
My rule of thumb when I'm bargaining, my always rule of thumb, because I may not know the or something. My rule of thumb is that I always half it. Always start from half. But you see, this time I did 400 because that's all I had. I had 400 shillings. I did not have any more. So literally, even if he was to sweet talk me how, I would
Hmm.
not have any more money to give, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to Fuliza for a pair of shoes. Let's just be
I
real.
know, we said we're not doing that.
Exactly, yeah. So I got shoes for 400 shillings.
Huh, that's such a bargain.
I got shoes for 400, bob. I swear to God, guys.
Actually, that's not a bargain because that was the cost that was initially supposed to have been quoted. But it just so happens willing buyer, willing seller. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Emphasis,
can't blame these
emphasis on
guys.
willing seller.
Yeah, willing seller. But
Emphasis,
anyway, willing
yeah,
buyer too, because sometimes when they ask you, "Uko na ngapi, how much do you have?" You're
yeah.
actually even boxing yourself because if you tell them, I have X amount of money, maybe they could even go lower, but already you've boxed yourself there. So that's the amount that you're going to pay for.
No, but thing is, let me tell you, because sometimes if you think like that, then you might end up thinking that, oh, he has taken advantage of me and stuff like that. Yeah, something that I learned later on in life is that if you are happy with what you've bought and you're
Hmm.
okay with how much you've spent, that the rest doesn't matter. Even if quote unquote amekugonga, that is still okay. that is still fine. Let him go with it, but
Now, for me,
at least you're happy with what you got. But if you still, if you focus on Maze, I bought him for 800 bob, and this guy next was selling for 300 bob. Nimegongwa. No. If you're okay with how much you spend, it's fine. And that is how you find people going to buy jeans for 15,000 shillings.
imagine if I know I can get the same thing cheaper somewhere else, I'm not going to be happy with the deal that I just had. Matter of fact, I won't even buy from you. If I know, even if the place is far and I know I can go and get it, or I can send for it to be brought to me, I'm
Yeah,
going to do that. I'm definitely going to do that. Even if the thing is very, very nice, I know I can get the exact same thing somewhere else of the same quality or even higher. Trust me, I'll feel bad for buying it at that price.
yeah,
I won't even enjoy the thing. I won't even enjoy the thing at all. So I'd rather
yeah.
just leave it alone and go and
Now,
get it from the other place.
let me tell you. Here's the thing. For me, I think you guys know I am a meat lover. I will never be vegan. I will never be vegetarian. I think that being vegan is stupid, but we love you nonetheless, our
Why do you
fellow
think it's stupid?
our vegan listeners. I think that people need meat. I think people need protein. People need like proper meat. Honestly, I am just not a big fan of vegan. Anyway, why are you trying to pin me against our lovely listeners here? I am
No,
not
no,
against
you can't
any
say something
marginalized
and not
communities.
give a reason why. So I'm just
Absolutely
done it.
no.
You need to no,
Nope.
you need to defend your stance.
So
This is
here's my
not where
thing.
you just make statements and move along. Go ahead.
So here is my thing, yeah. I don't know if any of you guys do this, yeah. But for me, a way to financially take care of myself monthly is that I buy everything in bulk. Like say if I'm buying meat, I'll buy meat for the whole month. I am not those guys of Ati. Let me go buy 1 kg from the butchery. I find that to be much more expensive. If you look at it at the end of the month, how much you've bought this 1 kgs at the end of the month, you have spent a lot. So I used to drive all the way to City Market in town. Yeah, I would I
Hmm.
would I would I would go buy my chicken breast at a certain price. I would buy 4 kgs of chicken breast and like 2 kgs of mincemeat. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
that's 6 kgs of meat. I think that's pretty enough for a whole month, given that I'm not eating meat every day. Yeah, so I used to think that City Market was such a bargain. Yeah, so I drive all the way to City Market every Sunday, go and fight with the smells and the flies there. If you guys are listening to this outside of the 254, City Market is a place in the middle of the CBD in Nairobi that sells all kinds of meat. Any meat you want, they have it. If you want goat meat, it's there. If you want camel meat, it's there. But the place smells like there's like so much meat all over the place. Yeah. Until I realized there's a place in my neighborhood that sells the same chicken breast for like 100 more per kg. Right. Now the old people would have been like, "Yo, that is a lot of money. Let me just go to City Market." But then look at it now. Okay, of course, because of Corona, I haven't gone to City Market since. But then I'm like that extra 100 shillings on top of it. I haven't thought about how much fuel I am burning going all the way to City Market. The time, the hassle and everything. Whereas these guys here they are within my neighborhood and they deliver. And they deliver. Yeah, so it's kind of like the same thing. It is the exact same product, but you know that you can get it cheaper. But again, people forget about the aspect of convenience, the convenience part of it. You
Mm,
know?
I get you. That's fine. That's fine for
Yeah,
you. But for me,
yeah,
I'd definitely be going if I was to get my meat from City Market, and if I was going to do something else as well in the CBD, then it would be convenient for me to get it from there. So I wouldn't be going all the way there just for the
yeah,
meat
yeah,
alone,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Also, I have a question. So you buy meat for the whole month, right?
Yeah.
So what happens if KPLC decides that they're going to not give us power, which they do decide often arbitrarily?
Funny enough, I've never lost power for more than a day. Never.
Oh God, lucky you.
I
But then
have I have
even
never
for
lost
for
power for more
meat,
than a day.
for meat, for meat, if it's like half a day, that's very dangerous.
No, but here's the thing: you put the meat in the freezer where it's ice, it's stone. So literally, and then of course, I don't open my freezer often. So even if lights are to go, it'll still remain cold in the freezer for some time. You know,
Oh,
and
okay, lucky
uh,
you, man.
yeah, I have never lost power for more than a day. Actually, never, never, ever, never, ever. I am
Because I
I
was thinking if
Yeah.
KPLC just decides, whoa. Oh, you remember at the beginning of COVID, um, they were just giving people blackouts every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd
I
go,
remember.
I would
Yeah.
see on Twitter, people would go like a whole week without electricity in certain
Ah,
places in Nairobi. That doesn't make sense, but it happens.
oh man, let me tell you, if lights were to go and it goes for more than a day, guess what? I'm having a barbecue. I'm having,
All that means six kgs of
I
meat
am
and
calling
chicken.
everybody that I know. Jirani, watchman, come. I shall cook for you.
Ah, well,
That
okay.
is that is exactly what I am going to do, guys. You guys were really feeling the previous episode when we were talking about our high school experiences. Somebody actually DM me and asked me, somebody could actually bully Rahma, really, you know.
Yeah, sadly.
Oh,
Alhamdulillah.
oh. I
Sadly,
still
someone bullied me.
uh, I, st- I still feel like just giving you a hug, Akiwoye.
You know, after we finished recording that episode, I
Yeah,
actually thought about it, and I'm
yeah,
still angry at that person, honestly. I don't know how I managed to keep my composure when I saw them last time,
yeah,
but it definitely brought the feelings back because, man, just don't be mean to people. Just, I mean, of course I've gotten over it, but then I didn't see why the person needed to be mean. I
yeah,
still don't
yeah.
understand why, and of course bullies don't have reasons, but still, just and then
Bullies do have reasons. They have nobody that they don't have that love, so they try and seek it
and
from.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
It's something that of course I've come to realize now
yeah,
that in hindsight they were basically just projecting what they were feeling and whatever they were trying to deal with themselves, that
yeah,
they couldn't adequately do it, or maybe they were not equipped to be able to go through it themselves, and they were not getting the support system that they required to go through it.
yeah.
But still, it doesn't make sense, and it didn't make sense then, it doesn't make sense now.
Yeah, so guys, if you are wondering what the hell we are talking about, go back and watch episode 11 of the That's Our Ram podcast. We get in depth into topics of bullying and high school. And here's the thing. Here's why I have brought it up. You made me feel nostalgic. Like I started thinking about high school days, and I just loved it. I don't know. Rahman? Do you follow this guy on Instagram called Mark Moas?
I actually started following him maybe
Recently,
last week. I used to see
yeah,
his videos. I used to get forwarded his videos, and they're
yeah.
really very funny. But then I was just coming across his videos a lot, so I was like, let me follow him. His content is really great.
But how could you really relate to his content? His content was more for boarding school guys.
Here's the thing, I
Uh-huh.
didn't relate to his content
Yeah,
from my perspective.
yeah,
Um, Growing up, my friends, all I think probably 90% of my friends from around where I was living at,
yeah,
and even when I moved schools, a lot of
yeah,
my friends came from like boarding and the 844 Kenyan system, Kenyan
yeah,
schooling system,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I used to hear about the stories, and this is what they would talk about all the time. And of course, just out of curiosity, because I didn't go through that system, I always used to ask them how was school and whatever. And then sometimes I used to say, oh, I wish I went to a Kenyan system school. And then they'll be like, really? No, actually, let me tell you, this is what happens. So they would break it down like
yeah,
moi style. Like this what
yeah,
happens, food is stolen, clothes are stolen, you're bullied.
yeah. Oh
That's how
yeah,
I get to yeah, that's how I got to know about like stories that would happen. And of course, even like around the neighborhood, when schools close, it's usual you guys, kids around the estate or around the neighborhood, come
yeah,
together, and of course you definitely talk about your schools because you don't see each other, and that's literally the only thing that you do besides watching cartoon and playing together. You go to school, so you just tell each other stories about your school. And that's when I realized it's actually very different. It's harsh, but it's so
Yeah.
much fun. And I wish I went to a Kenyan school. I
Do
really
you
feel like
really?
I missed
Do you
out.
really?
I
Do
do.
you really?
I
I
do.
don't think you
I
do.
do. I do.
You
I
know
do.
what? You know, Rahma. I don't think you'd hack. I don't
You know,
think you'd.
I think I would. I think I would
Nah.
because I liked my friends. I liked my friends that went to 844 schools. I feel like I had more fun with them than my friends, my bougie friends, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I had more fun with them because let me tell you, the people who went to boarding school introduced me to reggae and rhythm, which I find are really nice music, danceable music. I still listen to it till today. So I think I'd fit in. I'd fit right in
Hold,
actually.
hold, 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 hold the fuck up. Are you trying to tell me that the Rahma Ramadan? I have just realized that I don't know your third name, which I'm so embarrassed about. You actually like listening to reggae.
That's you
Let
actually
us
don't
be
know my
honest.
second name. No, no, you don't know my second name because that's my surname. Yeah, yeah, I think reggae is it's good music. It's chill music. Who doesn't like reggae?
Are you trying to appeal to a marginalized group that listens to the podcast so that you don't
Not
so,
at
so that you
all.
seem more relatable? You do
Not at
realize that there's
all.
nothing wrong with going to a British system school, yeah?
There's absolutely nothing wrong, but I'm just telling you what I like.
Yeah?
I
Really?
enjoy listening to reggae music. Who doesn't?
Who is your favorite reggae artist?
Wow, wow, wow. Um,
Moving on swiftly.
hey, I'll tell you ghetto ones. I'm not about to expose myself like that. Woo, wow. Let
Moving
me
on
tell you,
swiftly,
saying
yeah?
saying the genre of the music is one thing. Telling
Yeah.
you the actual artist, that on the other hand, you will judge me. I think you'll judge me harshly.
No, oh, okay, yo. I like that you are trying to make it look like I am the one who's stopping you. Yet I am the one who has you. Anyway, we move we move regardless. So us talking about our high school stories, it actually made me reminisce about some of my high school stories, and they were. Let me tell you, I remember writing letters. I remember writing letters, and I was watching Abel Mutua's video today, yeah, and he was talking about how his escapades as a wingman. Shout out to Abel
You should
Mutua.
probably just marry him at this point, but go ahead.
Come on, yo, and also shout out to Mark Moss because also Mark Moss really makes me remember high school because what he says I relate to it 100%. 100%. Like I recently watched a video where he talked about Atiku Piga Box Butterfly. Like
What's
that
that?
was. Let me explain what Kupiga Box Butterfly was. Yeah, those days. Yeah, those days to me. Those days. We didn't go to school with suitcases. Yeah, like many people would. You know, we would go
I,
with a metal
I don't think
box.
most people went to school with suitcases.
Many people did, and actually, like the kids nowadays are going to high school with
Is
um
it
with with suitcases. Yeah.
is it like a requirement that all students should have like that box, that metallic box, so that it's
It
uniform
is
for
not really
everyone?
a requirement, but it's a security measure. It is a security measure
Oh, I
because
see.
because come on, let's be real. A suitcase someone can just cut it up with a razor blade, yeah. So could pick a
But
box
why would you do
butterfly
that?
because you want to steal.
Uncultured people. Go ahead.
This is why you would not hack staying in a boarding school, much less like a public boarding school. So anyway, Kupiga Box Butterfly was we would go to high school with these boxes that have been made that are made in that are made in what's this place just before Jogo Road. This place
Jokali.
Joakali, yes, like the Joakali sector. Like I'm sure some of you guys, as you drive towards Jogo Road from Hail Selassie, you guys have seen like this place where they sell like these metal boxes. Yeah. So what people would do because the box, okay, the small boxes had one latch, right? I
Mm-hmm.
had the big box because the big box had two latches on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
So the small boxes that had one latch in the middle, what someone would do
Mm-hmm.
would come with big feet with big shoes and step on the and just step on the box, yeah. So what it does, it opens up like this. It opens up like this. If
Okay,
you
I
are
see, I
watching this
see.
on YouTube, lucky for you. If you are listening to this to audio, switch over to YouTube so that you can check it out. And mind you, while we are on it, by the if you guys are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, guys, really, don't you want to see?
Subscribe. It's free.
Don't you want to see Rahma's beautiful face and mine for those who are into some weird shit? I don't judge. I don't judge. Come on, guys.
Wow.
Come on, guys. Yeah. So that step on the box like right in the middle, yeah. So it would open up on the edges. So then people would have access to what's in your box. So like soap and deodorant and stuff like that. So that's how these things would happen. I have so many stories about high school, like it's crazy. So when Mark Moss talked about that, I just died
So
because I
wait, let me
remembered.
ask you.
Yeah.
So when someone does that, they take whatever they want to take. So do they put it back after, or you just find it like that?
Oh, Rahma, you're so cute. You're honestly so cute. Like you think that they would just borrow like let me just borrow without asking, then I will give it back. Yeah.
No,
That
no.
is
As in, do they put the box back? I didn't mean they put the thing back. I
no,
meant do
they
they
leave
flatten
no
the box back, or just they leave it like that?
no, they are like fuck it. They leave the box like
I mean, even if you're stealing, just put the things back nicely, and then you leave so that someone opens for a surprise. You know, one of the things for like open for a surprise. Yeah, they come and open, and then voila.
that. So they don't have the moral compass not to steal, but you should have the moral compass to at least put it back so that the person is not.
At the very least, I mean, but don't steal. But if you do, just put the things back together. So
To
that when
all
someone comes, you're just massaging them before they actually see the surprise.
to all of the thieves listening to this podcast, just don't steal. Rahma is asking you guys kindly, like you just kindly. And if you're a thief, stop putting these dreams in my head of me being robbed. Anyway, that is a different story. So
You know
are
what
you?
I've thought about? Sorry, you know what I've
Yeah,
thought about?
yeah,
There's this tweet that I saw. Someone apparently moved out from their parents' house and they were living alone, but I think they've had a string of bad luck. So they've just been getting robbed. Someone breaking and entering, someone broke into the apartment and was stealing all the time. So it was probably like the third time this was happening. So they went onto Twitter and the person tweeted, if you have a friend who's a thief, please ask them which padlock is the hardest to break so that I can buy that one. And surprisingly, guys were commenting. They were actually telling him, buy Vero,
yeah,
buy,
yeah, yeah.
I don't
Or
know, these
if,
brands. Yes,
or
or if
if, or if,
those two are the ones that so many people were saying. So I was
do
like,
not,
all these
do
people,
not.
so is it that everyone in Nairobi knows a thief? Or because the comments
I
were like 50 comments.
I am more proud of this, but I know how to crack some I know how to crack some padlocks.
Or you
Why
know how to
from
pick a
high
lock.
school? Yeah, I do. The tricycle, this cheap Chinese tricycle padlocks, those ones are
Mhm.
very easy. Those ones are very easy to crack. Very easy.
So is it
Very,
safe to
very.
say that if you went to a boarding school, then if you went to a boarding 844 school, there is a high chance that you know how to pick a lock?
I wouldn't say that honestly because for us, I think I'd say my high school it was survival for the fittest. It
Okay.
was yeah, it was honestly just survival for the fittest because we were given lockers in the cubes, but nobody would ever use the lockers because the lockers were so easy to crack. You know.
Okay. Sorry, you were saying something before this.
Yeah. So I was watching Abel Muto today, and he was talking about how these 2001 kids will never understand sending a letter looking for a stamp. Let me tell you, writing a letter to a girl was a community effort. It was a fucking community effort. And if you guys are listening to this and you guys were in like boarding school, because day school, why would you write a letter if you were in day school? It just didn't make sense, yeah. But
No,
if you're in
people
boarding
used
school,
to write a letter.
you would write a letter to your principal maybe, but not like a
No,
proper letter.
I was in a class where people hitting on other people would write each other letters and they were in the same class.
Rahma, I think you are confusing letters with emails.
No, like a proper letter. Dear Kevin, I wanted to tell you that you look really pretty today.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
saw you coming down the stairs and you looked so nice. You look so nice, but you all are wearing the school uniform that you wear every day. But I'm gonna tell you that you look nice. Those are the type of things that people would say in the
And
letter.
then you would fold them and give them, and then give them to their friend to give it to them. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
that doesn't count.
exactly.
That doesn't count. Let
It
me
does,
tell
but
you,
go ahead. It's
writing
fine.
a letter was a community effort. There were three parties involved. You, the person sending the letter, the artist friend of yours who could do calligraphy really well, and the
Yeah,
person who had lines. So basically,
yeah,
it was a community effort. People would sit down and write letters for you. I mean, guys, you guys know there was always that one person who had an easier time talking to ladies and like sending those vibes, like alikuwa anajua kukatiana yani maje kiro
yeah,
safi. So this guy would say ninge nadai kukucheki. The guy would translate, I would love to gander at your beautiful blue eyes, and that time and that time we are all Africans with black and brown eyes. I'd love to gander at the beautiful eyes, yeah. So you do that letter nicely, finish it, and then of course it was a community effort. So everybody in the back would have to like a chance to pokes. Let me tell you what, Rahman. Do you know what cool pokes is?
yeah. Like to put the input.
Yeah, so Kupox was if you were sending a letter to a girl, say in Loreto, yeah, no, okay, let's say in Pangani, yeah, and some people
Pangani
there,
Girls High
yeah,
School.
and say people knew someone else in Pangani, yeah, and they were and these were just cheap, and these are all cheap bastards, yeah. They would write a small letter and then put it then now for, so it was like a class letter. So you feel like this
Oh,
letter
so
is
now
the
the
like
small mini letter would be for their person who knows
exactly.
that person.
Exactly.
But how much was a stamp? Like 20 shillings?
20 shillings was a lot of money in high school, Rahma. 20 shillings was a lot of money. 20 shillings was a lot of money. And mind you, in the high school that I went to, we were not allowed to have money. Like the money was in the kitty, and it would remain in the school because we didn't really have a canteen, so it was really nothing to buy. So we would do barter trade in high school. So it would like, I'll give you a smoky and then you give me like, so I still remember the currency. The currency what, well, for someone to draw the person's name in calligraphy on the envelope, that was
Mhm.
one smoky, yeah. For somebody to,
Which
for
is
somebody,
like 25 shillings right now.
yes,
Probably
which
like
is
15 shillings then, right?
probably like 10 shillings then, probably,
Okay.
uh, probably. So, and then I remember for somebody to give you because you couldn't send a letter in just a regular full stop, you would not. It had to be a
Ah,
writing pad, a writing
with the
pad
flowers and things.
with the flowers at the edge. The small a what a5, or is it a5?
Yeah,
The
it was
s-
a 5.
the small a5 would go for half a chapati. The full scope, the full A4 size would go for one chapati and one smoky, yeah, and an
Mm,
envelope because now there were two types of envelopes. There were the
mm.
brown ones that zilikuwa za gava and the white ones.
Yeah.
So nobody would ever send letters with the brown envelopes. So the brown envelopes were basically useless. But the white envelopes would go for one 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 piece of chicken. Yes, one piece of chicken. Yeah. So
You
now
guys
that
were being conned. You guys were being
yeah,
conned.
yeah, I know,
One
I
piece
know.
of chicken.
I literally remember somebody came in with a packet of paint pops, and because there were some guys who would sneak in money. There's somebody who made 2,000 bob from one packet of paint pops. The guy was only one people for 100 shillings. So you tell me. So
I mean,
you
I
you
don't
tell
care
me
about the pin pop, but I care about the chicken, and I'm not definitely. There's no one
the
who's
chicken was
worth
trash,
one
Rahma.
piece of chicken.
The
It doesn't
chicken
matter.
the the
It's
chicken
just
was trash.
chicken.
Don't worry, this was not like IGCC chicken that you that you guys would hire KFC to do the catering for you guys. Nah.
No,
This was
no
like boiled
value for
chicken. It was
money. This
nasty.
is a
It was
whole
nasty.
meat, a whole slab of like protein. I'm not
It was
giving you for a piece of
nasty.
paper.
It
And
was
mind you, the person that I was trading this chicken with,
mm.
probably not even. I'm not even with the person right now. So for what?
Yo, you had to do it at that moment. At that moment, you had to do it. Yeah,
I guess so.
you really had to do it. So that was the so now that we have the currency down. Yeah, that was so now that was the currency. So everybody had a role to play. Yeah.
Yeah,
So now everybody has done the letter. Everybody like Mume pokes. You have done your. There was something called dedics. The dedics were
yeah.
dedications. Those days it was breaking lace. Love is wicked. Yeah,
Ah,
love the way you lie. Rihanna. Sexy love. Neo, those were
Neo.
the
Ah.
yeah, those were the dedications. The kids nowadays
Hmm.
are making mixtapes for people. I wish I would be able to do that those days.
But you
So
you could do that. Remember, you could put like
a
you could
CD,
make the mixtape, yeah, and put it in the CD, like put save songs in a CD and then
save songs
give
from
it
where
to the
Rahma?
person.
Save songs from where Rahma? We did not have
You
laptops
go no,
at
you
at
if you
at,
don't
at the time. If you wanted music, you had to go to Imenti House. Imenti House to these guys
no,
who
you
sell
go to a
movies.
cyber. You go to a cyber and then you tell them, Niweke, he put for me this song. You choose the songs that you want, then you have them put in the CD or in the floppy disk, and then you give the other person. If you give them with the if it was a CD, you had to give them with the Walkman to listen to, and then they give it back to you the next day. But if it was a floppy disk, they probably have a desktop in their house, so they listen to it on the desktop.
Rahma, you have just mentioned giving someone with a Walkman, and I have visualized that me and you did not have the same high school experience. Those days, if you wanted music, you would have to go and buy a CD. 20, I think it was 20 bob at the time. Go buy a
Yeah, it was
CD
20 bucks.
and go to a Menti house, and they would put for you all the songs that you had during entertainment. Put them all in one CD, and then you'd go and listen to them on the DVD. Anyway, Rahma, I have we should actually have a whole episode just to talk about high school experiences. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you have done the letter. It's nice. Yeah, the letter is nice. It's folded. you know Now you would just put the letter in the envelope and send it, right? It's just
yeah.
pretty simple. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You would have been a terrible boyfriend. Now you have to go look for somebody who has cologne, because I mean not everybody in high school
Oh
had a
no.
cologne. You had to go and look for
Don't tell me
somebody.
you drowned the letter in.
How do you drown a piece of paper in cologne? Now you would just
No, I
spray.
didn't. I didn't mean like actual drowning.
Yeah. Yes.
Just
Yes.
spray a lot of
Yes.
cologne on it.
Yes. You would if you wanted the smell to last long, and best believe by the time you open that later. L- Ladies, please let us know if you guys ever got such letters. Did you guys ever smell? Did you ever get a smell of the cologne? But you would spray inside the envelope, then put it in, and then you take some sugar and sprinkle it in, and some maybe Cadbury's, like some tricky chocolate. Sprinkle it in, just for some flair. Mm, there you go. Letter stamp.
So,
Sent.
so what would the sugar do?
The sugar was to signify that she is your sweet, and so
Wow, you guys were quite the romantic.
I swear. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was communication in those days. We didn't have phones where you would text or like send emails or like slide into the DM. We didn't even know what the hell a DM was those days. You
I think
know,
it was more sentimental then, because these days, guys, it doesn't mean anything. Someone can tell you something right now, but they'll probably be telling another girl the same thing, or they'll probably be telling another guy the same thing. But during those days, you'd put in a lot of effort. So even when you decide that you're going to, maybe, for example, in your case, send the same letter to another girl, you'd have to go through the whole process again, which is going to be so tedious for somebody that you really are not interested in. So even that alone in itself makes it really special.
yeah, exactly. Yo, the romance is dead. Nowadays, if someone wants to have sex with a girl, literally they will just say, "Well, wanna smash," and somebody would come through, or like, "I'm home alone," and someone come through. The romance is dead, guys. It took real effort to speak to a girl, and you would send that letter. It takes 3 weeks to get there. By the time she opens a response, literally you are getting a response after 2 months,
Yeah. So you've
and that
waited, you've thought about so many things, the
and
anticipation.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was communication. And that was patience. It really shaped us men to be patient nowadays. Now,
Nowadays, you guys are not even patient nowadays. Then, probably then.
oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, guys, if you are listening to this on the audio platform and you have enjoyed that story that I've just given, drop us a like, give us 5 stars, come on, because I believe that effort that I have explained of sending a letter, I think it deserves 5 stars, Rahma, don't you?
Are you trying to get pity accreditations?
Well, it's much better than you threatening to want people.
I didn't threaten, guys. I just told them nicely.
You threaten people, you threaten people to haunt them.
No, I told
You
them nicely. I
you
just
do you
conveyed
do
the
realize that
message.
you do realize that I control the edit, and
I know,
and
but
and I just add the clip of you threatening people.
no. You think I threatened them, but I told them something that you think is a threat, but I delivered it in a very, very nice way.
Ladies and gentlemen, put it down in the comments if you felt like Rakma threatened you guys or not. Oh, and you know, guys, I we want to hear your high school stories. So put it down in the comments, whether you are listening to this on Apple and Spotify. Put it down in the comments. Share with us some of your funny high school experiences. Ah, man, I miss high school, and I don't at the same time.
I think if you were to go back, would you change anything from your
No.
high school experience?
Nah, nah. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't. I
Would you
would.
do anything differently though?
Yeah, for sure,
Like,
for sure. I would definitely make sure that I'm the cool kid in class.
hmm.
I would definitely make sure because I was not the cool kid. I was definitely not the cool kid.
I think after school experience, you realize that people who are actually making something out of themselves are not the people who are cool kids, at
Yep,
least most of the time.
yep. Tell that to the girls in the funkies that would ignore you. Tell that.
Yeah, no,
Tell
they'll
tell
come looking for
tell
you.
tell that to them then. Tell that to them then. Guys, we want to end the podcast on a slightly sad note. I'm sure you you guys by now have heard about the passing of Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther. Um I don't really. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and sit here and say that. Oh my God, he changed my life and everything. I'm not really a big movie fan. I watched Black Panther was the only movie of his that I watched. But I think what I would say about his death was that he suffered in silence. That is something that I really respected. By the way, many people would have seek sympathy, like, oh my God, I have cancer. This guy recorded the Black Panther and that thing was whack. When he had cancer, he did all of his movies. Most of his body of work was done when he had cancer. That was crazy. So that spoke a lot about him as a person, you know. So rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman, you know.
I mean, looking at all the people saying stuff on social media, it just reminded me of how quick people are to judge. Because during, I think his last stages, he
Yeah,
did a live on someone's IG. I don't remember who it was, and he was visibly very weak and very frail, and he had lost a whole bunch of weight. So people started making fun of him. Guys were trolling him that the person who was the Black Panther before, all strong and mighty looking, all superhero looking with a very perfect body, now looks like
you
he's very
you
sick,
you,
basically.
you had to add the perfect body, yeah.
Yeah, no lie, he had a perfect body. I'm not a Marvel fan, and guys will crucify me for this, but I mean, the characters look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So
Yeah,
guys were saying that guys were actually making fun of him. Someone said he looks like crack something. He looks like he's on crack or he's addicted to drugs. Though all these rumors flying around, and for me, the fact that he didn't feel the need to address it was very, very strong of him, because it was just a minute thing in the grand scheme of things that were happening in his life. He didn't seem to want to address it, and rightfully so, because it was the least of his worries. But for me, there's him choosing not to speak about it in public, and people making up all these things from just one side of him and not knowing
yeah,
anything, shows me how much we're quick to judge based on a split second or a fraction of someone's life that they choose to put out there, and you don't really know the whole story. You really don't. So if you don't have anything good to say, you might as well just keep quiet. I mean, making an observation is cool, but going ahead and putting out your opinion out there and
yeah,
extrapolating it and saying maybe he's on drugs or even cyberbullying him, because I mean, a lot of the things that were said could amount to cyberbullying, you know.
yeah, yeah,
And even after that, a lot of people were saying you don't know what is going on in someone's life, so just be kind. I don't think you need to warrant being kind or being a decent human being to other people. You just have to be a decent human being, period, regardless of what the other person is going through. You don't have to be told, maybe this person is battling a lot of things in silence. Granted, it's fine, okay. But that shouldn't be a justification to why you should be kind, which is quote unquote being a decent human being. You should be a decent human being and treat other people with respect and the way you'd want to be treated, period. You know?
yeah, man. Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better to, myself. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, an idol and a hero to very many young African American kids. You know,
Yeah.
shout out to him. Rest in power, man. Rest in power. That is simply all I'm gonna say. And guys, this has been episode 12 of the That's So Haram podcast with me, Kevin Gakere.
And me, Rahma Ramadan, and today you has been your main host actually. Ooh.
You should have been on it to do the outro, yeah?
Yeah, I'll do it next time. I'll do it next
Yeah.
time.
Guys, we are making moves. I just want to remind you guys the plans that we have for this podcast. This is only the fucking beginning, guys. I'm telling you. Okay, that cussing was so unnecessary, but fuck it.
And there
The
we go. So you say that that cursing was unnecessary, and then you go ahead and curse again while
fuck
covering
it,
up the curse.
fuck it.
Wow. You guys clearly know who is the haram person here. Okay.
Clearly, guys, we are making moves. We are the plans that we have for this podcast. We are putting in a lot of money into this podcast. So, guys, you guys just watch this space, and the least that you guys can do is like the podcast, give it 5 stars, share it with your friends, and as Rakma always says, take a screenshot when you are watching it and tag us on Instagram. And by the way, if you don't follow us on Instagram, man. I am about to put an exposed video on Rahma from a few years ago on our podcast page. So you guys better tune in for that. That's our podcast on Instagram. And that's our podcast on YouTube so that you can see Rahma's beautiful face. And for those of you guys who have weird fetishes, you can also see my black ass face.
Well, there you go. Pick your portion. Pick your portion.
We are out of the building. We shall see you guys next week. Take care and peace.
I feel like that was a good one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I like that, man. I like that.